Republicans are cruel and they're mean, and I really don't think that hurts them in the short term. That whole idea that they're holding back society because they've been doing this so long. Democrats had to do this. Get the little small caveats they got. I want people to understand this about the Republican Party and all the people that are starving out here and suffering and wondering about will they have jobs very soon. A lot of the Republicans you're looking at right now aren't going to be in office next year or when it's time for their re-election. A whole lot of them aren't. They will not be returning to Congress. They think they will because they've been indoctrinated. That's what MAGA is, conservatives are. It's an indoctrination, a cult. But the polls are very clear that people hold Trumpers, MAGA responsible for this. That's clear. I don't know what the polls will be tomorrow. I don't know what people feel about ending the government like this. You have to understand that to a certain extent, it's like the Russians and the Nazis fight. The Nazis were advanced. They were Panther tanks and all that. The Nebelwerfers and all that. And the Russians just had the sheer amount of people just thrown into the county. They just like they had like waves, and the third wave we didn't have rifles. They pick up the rifles and did. And that is really what this is. You're not going to fight them like this because they are too indoctrinated with hate to even understand your point of view. Because that's the only way you support MAGA at this point is to be indoctrinated. They will lose. They will not be reelected. They will be harmed. We see already Georgia had some seats. Mississippi had some seats. We see that people comprehend this is MAGA. This is Trumpism 110% on full display. And that's what this is. So my point is just that this was a showing that they're a cult. And Kelly gets hurt. And making sure that the furloughed workers keep their jobs and making sure folks get paid for this time, the back pay, it means a lot. Now I know what I hear say, well, they would have went to court and got their money anyway. Yes, they would have got paid. Oh, we have to take this guy. Woo. Call my friends and back this short. You know, I know people will look at this and say, oh, they got paid, they got their money. Yeah, they went to court and got their money 6 months from now. For the average working man, they needed this money. They did. They had families, they needed this money. This was a big deal, and I think that people will see it as that. It's almost like Trump giving that money out during COVID and being like, put his name on it and stuff. That's how people will see this. I think they will. Even though money is his, you know, they still saw it. And same thing with Democrats. Them ending the recession and ensuring the workers get paid their money, they're supposed to get paid anyway. Basically, they just promised workers you'll get the law of promises. Because Trump said he wouldn't pay them. Remember? So I guess what I'm trying to say is, I think this is a win. I think this is a win for us. I like to believe that. You know, MAGA is a cult. I can't stress that enough over the last couple of years. MAGA is a death cult. It is a death cult. It is a white supremacist death cult, and they don't care who gets hurt. And so when you go into these, when you go to war with a person that's like this, they're willing to die. They're already out in the trenches. You understand? You're out here strolling your Sunday best. They're in the trenches with machine guns, rifles with bayonets, hand grenades clipped on the front of their vests. They're ready to die. So these shutdowns and all this, I want to understand it that the Democrat goal will never be the public goal in these matters. Never. It'll never be the same. It can never be the same. Now I'm not saying Democrats are poor or that they're working class people. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that our struggle will never be the same because the Republican Party is a golf club party. And so many of these people are like, oh, they should just work harder. And right, they've been indoctrinated with that. You see, they've been years and decades of indoctrination. They want socialism and communism, and they want gay luxury communism. There's so many years of this, of the welfare queens, some of that Reagan stuff. And then this guy Mandami, this guy Mandami he wants Sharia, gay communism. So much of MAGA is like that. You can't win. You won't be able to win against people like this because they're too far gone. It is unfortunate, but they're too far gone to be. All you can do is show your people this is what we would have got you if more of us were elected, which we did pretty good in the election. But this is what we're following the path. I'm doing the job. I'm doing what my boss asked me to do. I'm keeping my nose to the grind, and I'm doing it. I'm not getting caught up in culture war like that woman in Jersey. I'm not getting caught up, Sully percent burger or whatever. I'm not getting caught up in culture war. I am doing the job you asked me to do. The people I'm operating against are a cult, and it's just impossible. We went as far as we could go. We went as far as we could go, right? This is what we've gone as. If we go any further, what will happen is innocent people, working people, will be harmed. I don't know. I know a lot of Democrats are going to be burning things up and screaming and hollering on the YouTube and social media about how you didn't, you should have kept your word, and you can't. Once again, say the Russians and the Nazis. You're fighting against people that are ideologically driven. The Nazis. They're ideologically driven as far as how they see the world and everybody in it. You understand? That's what so surprising about the elections is that you have to really go back to before I was born. You have to go back to the 80s to see the beginning of like the abortion stuff, the running on gay people and stuff. You have to go back to that. It was the end of civil rights. They had a case in South Carolina. There was a college in South Carolina. It was like a college they wanted to still segregate, they couldn't. And that was the beginning of this. They can't run on race so much. It's got to be about gay people and abortion. Because the Republican Party is nothing but chaos. Chaos and confusion. Chaos, confusion, and rhetoric, and just hurting people. And that being the case, you'll never be able to. It's like you're fighting the white Taliban. I do not blame the Democrats. I don't think I agree with it, but I understand that they got see, so much of right now is they got domestic wrong. As I said, they get caught up in culture war, they get caught in personalities, they express their point, they were concerned, they are concerned with working peoples, and they want to do the best they can that working peoples come out of this okay. As I said, I think a lot of these Republicans will not be back in office. I think a lot of them are going to lose their re-elections. So much of Democrat policies is just about expressing to the world, is this really what you want? Is it what you want? It's not about force of arms. It's not about we can just man on man, I can force, I can just blow your man, you're trying to get, this is not about blowing your man. This is about showing people if this had gone this way, check me. If this had gone that way, I'll take the queen. You know what what I mean? And so much this level is about expressing we could have done this. We're just dealing with people who are in a cult, who don't want to listen, and are really too far gone to be reasoned with. That's just what it is. I'm not blaming Democrats.